Hello and welcome to the first Tech 406 video in probably forever. Wow. Besides the trailer I just recently released. But this video here, I'm going to introduce System Manager. This program I actually do have on my GitHub repository, which I will have a link to in the description if you are curious. This program is currently only Linux compatible, just because of its use on ButterFS. So how essentially this ends up working is that it keeps a single directory full of boxes. So if I go into here, I go into boxes, these are all ButterFS subvolumes, right? And all of these are actually just 86 boxes, like everything you need for 86 blocks to work, right? That's all that is. And it also has, so in here, it also has two hidden directories. It has System Manager and then templates, which I will get into in a second. But those are other directories that you also need to make it work as well. But yeah, we'll just go through the introduction. I will have a video if there's enough curiosity in this program. I will create a video on how to easily compile it on any distro. Even if you're using Arch Linux, it's incredibly easy to download the programming kit I use to make this, and just hit the compile button and you're good to go. I will go through a full tutorial, most likely on Manjaro, because Manjaro is the most popular Linux distro, and I will go through the part about creating the ButterFS and getting everything set up and installed. So there'll be a video on that in the future. For now, this video is just a guide on how it actually works and how to use it. So this is basically an 86 box manager, although it does have support for remote LXCs currently that are set via, I can't remember if it's hard coded just yet or not, but I also have a network attach button here that actually does point to whatever remote network you want to go to. It connects using VDE through over SSH. So it connects over to whatever host you want to connect to. Right here's my Pi 4, for example, because I have some LXCs on my Pi 4 in a certain network. So I'll demonstrate this at some other point as well. I don't know how much I want to. I never really planned this demonstration, so we'll see how far I ended up getting without actually planning this demonstration. I was thinking about doing it, and it's like I have to do this, but I'm just like I didn't write a script, so this is all ad lib or whatever it is, right? It's all off script. So I'm just winging it and going through the application as I built it. So I didn't really build this application with anybody else using it in mind, but I found it so useful that I thought, this could be good for computer preservationists, for example, like people working on computer preservation and software preservation projects. This could actually be absolutely amazing and the best tool they could have in their kit, for example. And I'll show you why right now, actually, what I mean about that. So let's select a few options. First, you select your network. So I'm going to choose the TAP network because that connects over to a local one, which I have it bridged to a network that has DHCP on it. I'll go through all that. I'll go through advanced networking in a future video. For now, this video is not going to go through advanced networking. It's just going to show the application just to get your mouth wet to understand what the program is. And if you're interested in it, and if you want to download it or try it out yourself, and then later on, if there's interest, I'll create a video on how to get it installed, how to get it all configured for your own setup and configuration, and then I'll probably make another future video on advanced networking, on how we can do advanced networking things like connecting all 86 boxes to LXCs, to KVMs, to I believe even VirtualBox has VDE support, for example, right? So it probably can even connect to VirtualBox. But I will make a video on advanced networking techniques and how you can connect all retro systems to virtualizations, to containers, to even make preservation and testing out software even that much more easier. I'll even show some tips and tricks on how to set up Samba to work with super old versions of Debian. Super old versions of Windows, I should say, not Debian. And so it'll show you how to configure Samba to do that, for example. So let's do a quick system as an example. So let's go name our system example 1. I like numbering them as I go down. You don't have to. It's just kind of a thing I do. And we'll make this, let's do Windows 98, for example. And we'll call this example 01. And now you'll see it pops up as that. And now how do we get it working? Well, let's do full screen just because full screen's fun. And let's click the run button and see what happens. Oh, no box config found. And no template selected. Template, huh? Hey, what's this stack thing that I never actually showed before too much? Let's go into the stacks. Oh, neat, isn't it? And Windows 98 is DOS-based, DOS-based, right? So let's click under DOS-based and see if we can find Windows 98. Oh, look at that! Now I can bring up a brand new, basically fresh install of this system in mere seconds. And in a few seconds now, we will be booted into, guess what? Windows 98. A brand new fresh install, ready for software testing or whatever you need to do in just mere seconds. Like if I wasn't talking as much, this would have been up in like seconds, not 5 minutes. So that's just the power of this tool. Like this tool, like once I built this and think this tool I think could be amazing for software preservation. Log in to our new Windows 98 instance. Ta-da! Totally fresh from the box. So there you go. And it stays, obviously it stays persistent in there as well. So it stays persistent in the in your 86 box management. You can also import other 86 boxes as well by just basically copying the whole directory structure into there and then just naming it. So now I'll demonstrate a few other capabilities of this as well. So now, say if you want to, if say you're doing you set up a base system in here, so you can do templates upon templates in a way. So let's create. Oh, actually, no, I don't want to do that. So I go here and then press the copy button. Now we go example 1, we go example 02, for example. Now we have, and then you have to always set a title or else it won't let you actually use it. So do title, and then there's some quirks in the application, and look, everything's set up automatically down here. The cool part about this part is if you set up the net, it'll actually configure this to actually it'll configure this to be whatever network is selected here. So it's easier to modify than having to go. Yeah, it also has configuration here, so you can normally go into here, for example, to access the configuration stuff for it. And that there's also a bug in this version of 86 box where you have to always select this. If I just pressed OK and closed the box without selecting this, it would go back to the null driver and then eradicate my entire configuration. So, but yeah. But this program currently has some abilities to modify the configuration file, just some abilities, but not much. I might keep adding abilities. If this program gets popular and people will request certain funky features, then I might actually have it. It does support listing all 4 NICs here as well too. So if you have an 86 box with more than 1 NIC, it'll pop up as well. Okay, so now we have our second one. So let's start up our second one now. And here it is. Here's our copy. And as you can see, they kept the same exact login information, and we don't have that box popping up anymore. Any of those boxes, it kept all that stuff. So now let's just try doing stuff on this template to show that they are completely separate. So let's delete these, get these out of the way like this. We got to empty that recycle bin, right? And then shut down. All right. And then we have this, then we give you back to our first one here. You will notice actually, while this boots up, I can just put it into over there actually, while it boots. I'll go through a few other components here too. So you'll probably notice a few other buttons in the toolbar. This of course saves the actual list, this list you have here. This opens an existing list. This here is for journaling purposes. So you can click this. Oh, I forgot how to save the list first. I won't show that just now then. But yeah, you have to save your list before you can create a journal on it, of course. Makes sense. And then this button here will add a journal. I can show you how the journal works actually for individual. It works just basically the same. So if I want to add a journal for this one, for example, so if I go plus here, now example 1 has a journal attached to it, so which shows up as a file here, right? So you can double click that file, and then boop, you have this, right? And if you type in DT, which stands for date time, hit enter, now you can start journaling. Today I tested out such and such software with such and such can't type configuration. There we go. Right, example how you can use that. So you can, and these follow your boxes too. So so I close this, save it, it'll actually follow the box. So then if you decided to say send this box to a colleague that's also working on retro stuff, they will have your notes. They can open up the system manager and say, oh, there's a note there. They can double click it and then read it and go, oh, that's what he's working on. Cool. It keeps these attached, right? And the system lists also have the similar idea behind it as well, where these notes are also with the list, so you can copy the list and the note at the same time to your colleague if you want to give them a whole batch of systems to test out, for example, right? If you're doing software preservation and trying to make things work, or testing out various configurations and things like that, like, yeah. Anyways, but yeah, that's what that does. Example 1, example 2, they're completely separate. So if I go into here, we'll go into example 1 box where you see that. See journal. Open this text file. It's a completely standard text file, right? So you can just easily share. If you share this box directory and use System Manager, your colleague or whoever you share it with will have access to all of this. And even if they don't have System Manager, they can still read the journal you created. They don't actually have to even use System Manager to even see the journal. So it's kind of a nice little extra feature just to be able to keep information on your VMs, because there's a lot of times where you just do a lot of stuff in the VM and in the systems you can't remember all the details. This is the best way. It's a nice way to keep a log of what you've been doing, like any proper researcher would do, right? You keep your research logs. Anyways, enough of that. Enough journaling. Okay, so now as you can tell here, now all this is back, right? So yeah, because they're completely separate snapshots of each other, and if you run, especially run it off an SSD, there's like very little, like I'm running this this is all running on a platter disk right now, like a spinning disk, and it still runs like fine. Like the actual snapshotting does not add any lag or anything like that. Another cool part too is you have a log down at the bottom. If you double click this log if there's a system list saved, it'll actually copy this log into the journal. I guess I rolled back to journal again, didn't I? So it saves back into the actual system journal, so you can keep track of your actual log down here as well. I'll probably make a future video to actually go through some of these extra features and that I haven't covered really, as well as potentially other networking type stuff that you can actually do. But I don't want to make this video terribly long, so now it's at 13 minutes. So yeah, I think that's good enough for a demo. I'll leave a link in the description below if you're curious about checking this program out, and if you subscribe, you'll see a video probably in the next couple days of actually showing how to install it on a popular Linux distro such as Manjaro, and to get anyone that wants to get started on this, using this program for software preservation purposes and software testing, can use it. So anyways, have a good day.
Ah, crap!
I don't have any document. I do have a lot of software that I can hear. How do I copy that?
Okay, well, you then on the floppy disk that those programs came on.
Some I do, some I don't.
How do you have software without the disk?
Because after I bought the programs, in some cases I thought after I was finished with it,